Right, we are live. Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome back to the Kiwi Lads channel. We are back for another match of the Hong Kong Sevens. This one a quarter-final between New Zealand and Fiji. Now, these two sides have faced off for the final multiple times in Hong Kong, but instead now they find themselves facing off for a chance at a semi-final. The winner of this game will take on the Australians in the semi. The loser will face the South Africans. But looking through at the starting lineups, first of all for New Zealand is Tupaia Cook-Savage, Fiji Sevens, Moses Leo, Regan Weir, Dylan Collier, Scott Curry, and Joe Webber. New Zealand sit in 3 wins from 3 throughout their pool stage in Hong Kong. Then for the Fijians, it is Viliami Naikausa, Josefa Talatolo, Georgie Nasova, Jeremiah Matana, Ponipati Loganamasi, Fatimo Ravovo, and Felipe Saturanga. Now, they have suffered the one loss that was up against the Australians. Other than that, though, they've had 2 wins from the 2 last games. And they are looking to make it 3 in a row here up against the Kiwis. But do let me know your score predictions in the comments down below, ladies and gentlemen. It is going to be a very entertaining game, a fast-paced one. And it's very hard to tell who actually will have the full momentum heading into this match. I feel like New Zealand, I would say, with the fact that they haven't lost a game yet, they are in the box seat, but they can't be complacent. Fiji kicked this one off out on the full. That is not what we expected for the start of this contest. Unfortunately, Fatimo Ravovo just getting that one slightly wrong, and it gives New Zealand the ball on the halfway line for an early attacking opportunity. This is a good rugby feast, says Hanoi, in 28-21 to New Zealand, says Novmum. And also Buller Hamish says, Vinny, welcome in, mate. Hope you are doing extremely well. And 28-12 in favour of the Fijians, says Hanoi. But New Zealand in the head-to-head, they have 158. Fiji have 159. So it just tells you how close these two sides are. I've had so many finals where they've gone face-to-face. They would have loved to have this as the final of the Hong Kong Sevens. The ball has been fed in. And Tupaia Cook-Savage now looking away to his left-hand side. Joe Webber, pass on the outside, space opening up now for Regan Weir. It's great to see him back. And then New Zealand kid, he's just bumped off 3 tackles and he scores the try for New Zealand. That is a dream start for the All Black Sevens here. It's his first try in Hong Kong as well. I don't know what happened to this defence. Loganamasi went in with the wrong shoulder. Saturanga got bumped off. And then, unfortunately, Jeremiah Matana was just a little bit too late. You're not well. Oh, dear, please look after yourself after this game, says Vinny. Yeah, we are quite sick at the moment, but we've got 2 more games that we are covering tonight of Rugby Union. And then I get to sleep a little bit, and then we're into the Sevens tomorrow. But that kick has gone over for New Zealand, now making the score 7 points to 0. We have got the oh yeah, says Novmum. And there as well will be a different story against the Springboks in the 15-man game, says Mornay Lagrange. And also come on the All Black Sevens, let's go, says Kristen Rush. Now that's kicked out on the full by New Zealand. These two sides both making the early mistakes off the kickoff, and it looks like Fiji trying to run this one straight back to the halfway line. They want to take the quick tap. Oh, it's not the same ball, so they can't take the quick tap. Instead, they do have to go for the scrum instead here for the Fijians. This will lure in 3 of New Zealand's defenders. Drink orange juice and lemon water, says Hanoi. And I did not score about this game. I do not score about this game, Hamish, says Vinny. You don't know about what the score will be, I assume. My prediction was 12 points to 5. Or 12 points to 7, in fact, in favour of New Zealand. And these kickers are copying Carter Gordon, says Hanoi. That one's going to be popped back into the pocket. Felipe Saturanga. Now Loganamasi passes it back across. It's all about finding that next offload. And unfortunately, Loganamasi has knocked that one on. Moses Leo picks it up now for New Zealand. And he's taken down on the halfway line. Tupaia Cook-Savage going back across to this left-hand side. Skip pass from New Zealand out to Regan Weir. He's already scored himself 1. Been hit hard there by Naikausa. Ball bounces out the side. Double knock on. But it will be in favour of the Fijians. Do South Africa had to wait for the loser of this match? Was there from Mornay? I believe so. If I've got it correct, although sometimes they do mix it up depending on where they qualified certain teams. So at the moment, I don't think it's been completely confirmed. I'm just looking through the men's, the men's 7th place and the men's 5th place playoff games, I think are still to be confirmed at the moment. Yeah, so it's hard to say. But either way, they will be in action against South Africa tomorrow. Now, right through the gap there, Logan Amasi. He was one of the keys that I mentioned in the preview, and you can see why there, because he has just scored himself the try for the Flying Fijians, and they are back into the contest now, 7 points to 7. Will any Fijians do the people's elbow on a Kiwi? Says Hanoi. And also morning from a crazy windy Tipperary. Going back to the flea pit to bed, says Dennis. It's gone, maybe Fiji will win. 28-30, says Vinny. Maybe. I mean, it might not quite be that high scoring, but I think we are going to get to see a very close game, just like it always is between these two sides. Who do you think will win the other games tonight, says Kristen? Are we talking 7s or 15s? And when and where is the next tournament? Next tournament is going to be taking place in Singapore, and that is on the 3rd of May, and then followed by Madrid on the 31st of May, which is the final leg of the Sevens competition. That's kicked off by the Fijians. And we tap back onto the side of the Kiwis. Joe Webber. Now has that ball. 15 metres out. Looks like he's going to go away to Scott Curry. And that was a forward pass. And 15 says Kristen Rush. I think that the two South African sides have a very good chance, even though the Stormers come in as slight underdogs up against La Rochelle. But yeah, I think that they're both going to get themselves through to the next stage. I'll be disappointed if they didn't. Definitely the Bulls. They come in as huge favourites up against Leon. It was odd. I just saw a Cornish flag in the crowd. Says Fleshin. Was DuPont scared of Hooper, so avoided Hong Kong? No. I don't think that would have been the case. I think it was more that he wanted to play for Toulouse because they have got Racing 92 just around the corner for the Champions Cup. And one of the stipulations from his team, they pretty much said, you're not playing sevens when we need you. He was able to get out of the Six Nations. They said, no, you're not leaving us. Nice pass on the outside. A nice step there from the Fijian winger. And that's going to be Georgi Nasova, who manages to score that try. What's your prediction of the two Champions Cup matches going to stream? I am backing both South African sides. His first try of his career, Georgi Nasova, and it comes to give them a lead at half-time, 12 points to 7, Brumbies 40, Waratahs 16. Okay, so another one-sided game in Super Rugby. And what games are you doing next week in Super Rugby games? Well, I'm hoping to do all of them next week. It was just with the overlaps and with the fact that I was sick this weekend, it meant that we didn't really get to cover as much as we would have liked. Originally, the plan was to cover the Chiefs versus Moana Pacifica game, but that didn't end up happening. The Bulls by how many? Says Moana Lagrange. I mean, looking at this Lyon side, like, don't get me wrong, there's some good players in there, but the Bulls at Loftus should get the win comfortably. Big run there from Scott Curry. Heading towards half-time now. Fiji looking for the turnover. Where goes across to Moses Leo. Currently on the halfway line, in New Zealand do get themselves another penalty. Can't believe that Ulster lost to the Stormers last week in the URC. I can. Like, at the end of the day, South African sides have shown that the home field advantage works heavily in their favour, and they did very well. Like, that's the thing. They did well to win that game, the Stormers, because it didn't look like they should have. Chiefs nearly got 70. This is Glenn Woods. That is going to be half-time now between these two sides. 12 points to 7 in favour of the Flying Fijians. They are going to have drinks, and I'm going to do the same because I can hardly talk at the moment. Chiefs 68 to Moana 12. Yeah, good game for Moni Narawa as well, getting himself the hat-trick. I haven't seen too many hat-tricks throughout the Sevens competition, I don't believe at this point. In fact, that is probably a bit of a trivia question. Does anyone know, have any men's sides got a hat-trick for a certain player throughout this competition at this stage? And Go Fiji says Asiali. And also, we'll go there, the Fijian flags from Josiah in the chat as well. The Western Force was so bad, says Annoy. I think most of the underdogs really were struggling big time. It was around where the four favourites won, and they won relatively comfortably. The closest underdog was the Fijian draw, but then unfortunately, that second half just goes downhill for them because of that discipline. Contest South Average, do not play around with that flu. Vitamin C says, Vinny, I did have an orange today, so that is handy enough. Hopefully that will help a little bit. Second half just around the corner for these two sides. I think that the subs are going to be so important. Now, Fiji did opt to go without Taria Vailawa and Blues 50 to the force 3. Says Valeni, that is indeed what the score was. And Narawa played all over the field, plus as a Mark Talia got a hat-trick. Says Glenn Woods. He has, but I was more referring to the Sevens competition because Hoskins Satutu also has a hat-trick in Super Rugby. And then I think we also saw another hat-trick come for another player that also got one in Super Rugby. It might have been one of the forwards. Maybe Talia got a hat-trick, says Hanoi. Or in terms of the Sevens, though, rather than Super Rugby. I probably didn't specify well enough what the question was. Now, ball available for Josefa Talafolo. 6.5 minutes remaining now, going off to the left-hand side. Natongu on the park, and this is going to be an important time of the match here for Fiji. This was actually my end score prediction, but I said that New Zealand would beat Fiji by the score margin. Kicked him home from Josefa Talafolo. Looking to kick this one forward, and it's bounced back onto the side of the Fijians. They've got numbers on the outside. Ravovo now going back across to Naikalsa, looping around play, back to Ravovo. Another offload to Naikalsa. That's gone forward off Finian Norfo. Well, no, they've actually said it's a knock-on from the Fijians here. Oh, no. First knock-on was New Zealand, they've said. So it is now going to be available for the Fijians. And this try, if they can get one now, that might almost take them far enough ahead. The thing is, though, there's still plenty of time left in this game, so they probably need another 2 tries or so to really cement their spot through to the next stage. And that would be up against the Australians, for anyone wondering. And also, if you're wondering when that game would be taking place, it is going to be taking place, one moment, we'll get it here. For that game, the semi-final between these two sides, or the side that wins this game, will be taking place at 6:06 p.m. tomorrow. Are you dehydrated this morning? No, I've drunk a lot of water. It's just, unfortunately, one of the symptoms is a very dry throat, so it makes it a bit tough to talk at times. Now, Ravovo trying to bust through the tackle attempt of Moses Leo. Naikalsa going back across to the left-hand side. Now to Josefa Talatholo. Decide to pin his ears back. Look for the offload. Does set up though for Jeremiah Matana. 2 missed tackles in a row for the Kiwis has led to a lot more meters made. Talatholo, another offload on the inside to Logan Amasi, close to the touchline. To play a Cook Savage, wrestled out, no space. As the Bulls Leon game, a knockout it is. Yep. Round of 16. So whoever loses that is out of the competition. So, yeah, crucial one for both of those sides. Same with Stormers and La Rochelle. Go Fiji, go for the fans. Says Kaliapa. Now it's going to be the line out here for the Fijians. Still hit by the 5 points. I googled it. Michaela Blight has a hat-trick for the Black Ferns. Says Glenn Woods. Okay, so no hat-tricks for the guys yet throughout this series. Just showing DJ Forbes on the sideline. Of course, he was a great player when it came to the Sevens. And I says Ollie is the best. Welcome in. Still 4.5 minutes remaining. It is anyone's game here between these two sides. Like I've just said, if Fiji can score themselves a try now, it may be too little too late for New Zealand, but that throw was not straight at line-out time, which now gives New Zealand the ball and a chance to be able to head downfield after they get this scrum. Still on a very good position on the field. The last 4 matches between New Zealand and Fiji been decided by 7 points or less is the stat as it just come up. And that is understandable with the intense kind of nature when these two sides go head to head. And also we're going to go Fiji go, says Avakesh. And come on, New Zealand, says Glenn Woods. My girlfriend Jakayla is very sore and has a hot head, says Ollie there. It's not ideal. And go Fiji go, says Adi. Now to Bayer Cook Savage. About to feed the ball in. Brady Rush going across again. They are still inside of the 22 here in New Zealand. But now Joe Weber starting to make a few extra meters. Moses Leo is taken down close to the sideline. Ball is still in the field of play. In fact, it's going to be a penalty. Surely Perry Baker would have a hat-trick. Says Hanoi, not yet for the USA. Like, the closest we probably had is in that game where Fiji got 45 points up against the Canadians. I think that is the biggest scoreline we've had. But I think that was well spread out throughout a few different players. Great kick from Tapaya Cook Savage. Gets the Kiwis right down into the 22 of Fiji. This game is not over yet. And I should mention, the concern here for Fiji is the fact that they did not convert both of their tries. They have only converted the one, which opens up the door for New Zealand. If they get a converted try, they would take the lead in this contest. There are still over 3 minutes remaining though, which is more than enough time. You can honestly get 3 tries combined from these two sides in that amount of time. There is a knock on though from the Fijians. It's going to be a scrum feed now for New Zealand. The Fijians are not happy about it. We're going to see a replay here. Yeah, see, that looks like it's being tipped backwards by Batitarenga. Probably a little bit unlucky there, Fiji, to have had that one ruled as a knock-on. When are the Chiefs playing in Hamilton next, says Ollie is the best. I think it's a couple weeks' time that they do get to go back. Of course, they just played there only about maybe 3 or so, or 2 and a bit hours ago. And Fiji and draw 20 to the Rebels 41 and come on the All Blacks. I think the All Blacks will struggle with Roigard. Sees many, I assume that is without Roigard, but now going out wide. That was high from the Fijian. Whinia Norfo manages to score it, but that might be Viwa Nadovalo in a little bit of trouble here for how high he went with that tackle. I've seen the Crusaders and the Hurricanes all have buys this weekend. There's Hanoi, so yeah, they will both be in action next week against their respective sides. This might be a double blow against Fiji here. Whinia Norfo, he's been hit high. That said, Nadovalo trying to target the ball. Unfortunately, though, it did get him around there. I know it looks ugly, but I would still only have it as a penalty. Like, they got the try. He's down low. He almost touched the ball there, Nadovalo, and he almost breaks his own neck in the process. So I don't think I would send him from the field, but I feel like they are going to. No Will Jordan, no Roigard, says Manny. Oh, they've awarded the try, and that is all it's going to be. That is a good call from the refereeing side there. And did Spain win, says Hanoi? They did not know. They were beaten by the French. So it is going to be France versus Ireland in one semi-final, and then Australia versus the winner of this contest and the other. But it's kicked off high. New Zealand missed that kick at the post. So with 2 minutes remaining, it is 12 points to 12. It is anyone's contest in this game, ladies and gentlemen. I'd like to go live with you one day. Or go live with you one day. That might be from Ollie is the best rather than live. Isn't it weird how live and live are the same word, but they can be said differently? Oh, I've just mentioned that a penalty try would have actually put New Zealand in front there. So it's more significant for the Fijians that it was called as no penalty try, but it is gone into touch now off Balatha, which does give New Zealand another line out with only 90 seconds remaining here. Who do you think will replace Roigard, says Manny M? I mean, there are a few decent options. I feel like, to be honest, with Roigard out, TJ Perenara's likely, if he keeps on playing throughout Super Rugby and has a decent crack throughout the season, I honestly could see him making his return to the ABs just to add that bit of experience at 9, seeing as they don't have Aaron Smith and now they don't have Cam Roigard as well. I don't really see Christie as a starting 9. That's going to be a nice wide cutout pass there from Moses Leo. Gets it away now to Dylan Collier. Tony Nashu wanted the inside pass, but didn't receive it. 40 seconds remaining on the clock now to Bayer Cook Savage. Goes one more on the outside to Moses Leo. Uses his power. Ball to Brady Rush. He's looking for the corner here. They're about 10 metres out from the line. Andrew Newstub now. White cut out pass. Tony Nashu sells the dummy. Goes himself. And that'll be the try for New Zealand that may just secure this game. Will you cover the European Championship soccer in Germany? No, we will not. Just because if I was going to try and cover it, I want to cover all of it, but there's more than likely a lot of overlaps with the URC and other competitions that we already cover. Lucky he didn't dislodge the ball. Would be a penalty try under the post. Says Annoying France 19, says Valeni. And there in Goodwin says Choke the Woke. And 100 in there's from Yikes, but that kick has gone over from the New Zealanders with Tupai Cook Savage. And New Zealand get themselves the victory here, 19 points to 12. So it will be New Zealand versus Australia in the semi-final. And there is a chance that we see Fiji versus South Africa in the 5th place playoff game. That Hihai, though, says that Choke the Woke. And I also hope they have a great night and great day tomorrow, says Ollie. And I also hope the Black Cats win the T20 World Cup, says Manny M. And here we go, says Glenn Woods. And go the All Blacks, says Feroz. And there as well. But yeah, they had to work hard in this contest. The Fijians were not going down without a fight. They'll be a bit disappointed that they weren't able to take those chances in the first half. As long as it's not Christie, says Glenn Woods. And there as well. But the next live stream that we have got, ladies and gentlemen, it will be taking place in about 35 minutes' time. And that is the game between La Rochelle, or in fact, no, it's my apologies. It is the game between the Bulls and Lyon. And we are going to be covering that one on the channel, followed by La Rochelle versus the Stormers. But nonetheless, I do thank you all very much for tuning in. If you did enjoy, be sure to leave a like and subscribe. If you're wondering when Fiji will be in action next, they're going to be playing tomorrow either at 7 p.m. or they will be playing at 4:30 p.m. It is yet to be confirmed. They have to work out the rankings and everything along those lines. In fact, we might get to see it very soon here. But for now, we know it is Australia versus New Zealand, one semi-final, which is actually the same as the women's draw as well. I see you in the second half, says Fleishan and there as well. But nonetheless, I think they're not going to show us who is going to be playing who. Still typically All Blacks to win the Rugby Championship. And Argentine 10, USA 14. And Uptawas, says Rihanna. They played extremely well in their most recent game, getting themselves a massive win over the Rabbitohs. I feel like that was much more of a performance than many people anticipated from them. So, yeah, nice work from the Warriors there. Nonetheless, I do thank you all very much for tuning in. We will be back in around that 35 minutes time, like I mentioned, and I will see you all for